The camera slowly zooms in. A bustling 5-star kitchen, stainless steel gleaming, flames dancing, and chefs in tall white hats shouting orders like generals on a battlefield. And in the corner, barely seen, barely acknowledged, stood a young woman with sleeves rolled up to her elbows, hands soaked in soapy water, scrubbing pans bigger than her entire torso. Her name was Lena. To the Millionaire chefs, she was invisible. To fate, she was about to become unforgettable. The Michelin star restaurant, Imperial Flame, was famous for two things: impossibly strict kitchen standards and its 5 millionaire founding chefs, Armand, Lucio, Pierre, Gustavo, and the famously cruel head chef, Victor Duvall. Every night, they prepared dishes worth more than Lena earned in a month. Every night, they walked past her without so much as a glance. And every night, they laughed at her. Not loudly, not rudely, but dismissively, like her existence was a joke only they understood. Careful, dishwasher, Lucio smirked once as she struggled carrying a tower of pans. Those cost more than your yearly salary. Pierre chuckled. If she breaks one, we'll cut her pay. That'll stop her from dreaming above her station. But Lena wasn't dreaming, she was surviving. Her mother was bedridden, her younger brother still in school, and Lena worked 18 hours a day between two jobs just to keep the electricity on. She never complained. She never looked up. She scrubbed, rinsed, stacked, repeated. Silence was easier. But everything changed the night Victor Duvall announced the biggest event in the restaurant's history, the annual Imperial competition. Every year, the Millionaire chefs competed to create a signature dish for the country's highest-ranking culinary critics. The winner's dish would be featured globally, earning fame, endorsements, TV shows, and millions more. This year, stakes were even higher. A famous investor was attending. He planned to choose one chef to lead an international chain of gourmet restaurants. Everyone was determined to win. Everyone, except Lena. She wasn't allowed to touch ingredients. She wasn't allowed near the stoves. Dishwashers were strictly forbidden from even tasting food prepared by the gods of the kitchen. But fate has a strange way of boiling over. The day before the competition, chaos struck. During the final rehearsal, Armand's signature sauce burned. Pierre over-seasoned his dish and stormed out cursing. Lucio sliced his finger so badly blood splattered across his cutting board. Gustavo fainted from exhaustion. And Victor's dish, a truffle foam with rare imported herbs, collapsed when his assistant accidentally overheated it. The chefs panicked. Their reputations, their money, their future, all on the line. And in the middle of the madness, Victor exploded, slamming a pan into the sink where Lena was working. Incompetent staff, he bellowed. This entire kitchen is full of fools. The clang echoed, water splashed, and something inside Lena, the part she always kept quiet, small, safe, finally cracked. She looked up. For the first time, Victor noticed her. What? He snapped. Lena inhaled slowly. Your phone collapsed because your assistant used the wrong temperature. Pierre scoffed loudly. Listen to this, the dishwasher thinks she's a chef. Lucio burst out laughing. Gustavo joined. Even Victor smirked. Go back to scrubbing pans, Victor said coldly. This kitchen is not for children. Lena lowered her eyes. But that night, after everyone left, she stayed. She cleaned the tables. She swept the floors. And then, when silence wrapped the kitchen like a blanket, Lena walked toward the cooking station. Her hands trembled, not from fear, but from memory, because long before life pushed her into scrubbing dishes, Lena once loved cooking. Her mother had taught her. Her mother, once a talented chef before illness stole her strength, used to say, a real cook listens to the ingredients. They tell you what they need. And standing alone in the Imperial Flame kitchen, Lena could hear them whisper again. She lifted a spoon. She tested flavors. She adjusted spices. She recreated Chef Victor's broken recipe, but better. When she finished, the foam stood tall, glossy, perfect. Balanced, elegant, alive. She didn't touch it again. She simply cleaned the station spotless and slipped out into the night. The next morning was the competition. The investors arrived. The critics. The media. Cameras flashed. The millionaire chefs stood tall, confident, except they knew their dishes were flawed. But appearances mattered more than truth. They began cooking. And immediately, disaster hit again. Pierre's broth curdled. Lucio's pastry collapsed. Gustavo's grill malfunctioned. Armand's sauce reduced too much. And Victor's foam, no matter how many times he tried, kept falling flat. Sweat beaded his forehead. Panic crawled up his neck. He barked orders. He blamed assistants. He cursed the equipment. Nothing worked. The critics whispered. The investor frowned. The chefs felt humiliation rising like smoke. Meanwhile, Lena washed pans quietly, pretending not to hear the rising tension. But the investor, Mr. Hayes, a man known for his sharp eyes, noticed something. A taste, a scent, a memory. On the corner of the counter, Victor had placed a sample dish, the one he tested that morning before it failed again. Mr. Hayes dipped a spoon. His eyes widened. "That is extraordinary," he said. "Who prepared this?" Victor's heart stopped. He hadn't made that one. That was the foam Lena created. The chefs stiffened. No one spoke. "This, Mr. Hayes said, is genius-level cooking." "Whose recipe is this?" Lena kept her head down. Silent. Invisible. Until Victor pointed at her. "It must have been her," he said sharply. "The dishwasher was messing around last night. Probably ruined my station." The room froze. All eyes turned to the girl in the corner. Lena felt heat rise in her cheeks, but she didn't deny it. "Did you make this, Mr. Hayes asked gently. Her voice trembled. "Yes." The millionaire chefs burst into laughter. Pierre sneered. "Impossible." Lucio scoffed. "A dishwasher improvising truffle foam? Don't insult us." Gustavo waved dismissively. "She probably got lucky." But Mr. Hayes didn't laugh. He stepped closer, studying Lena the way a master appraises a hidden gem. "How did you stabilize the foam?" he asked. Lena swallowed. "I used a lower heat, added a microburst of citrus to balance the truffle, and adjusted the texture with cold infusion." Silence. Heavy. Crushing. The chefs blinked. The critics murmured. No dishwasher should know such techniques. And then Victor snapped. "She stole our knowledge. I want her fired, immediately." But Mr. Hayes raised a hand. "Fire her," he said calmly, "and I will walk out right now. Because talent like this is something you cannot buy, and you fools didn't even recognize it." Gasps rippled across the room. The millionaire chefs went pale. "As of this moment, Mr. Hayes continued, Lena will compete in the imperial competition." The chefs exploded. "What? She's a dishwasher. She has no training. This is a professional kitchen, not a charity." But Mr. Hayes ignored them. "Lena," he said softly, "cook for us." Her hands trembled. Her breath shook. But she nodded. She stepped into the arena, into their battlefield. And the world watched the girl they had laughed at become someone they feared. She worked with confidence she didn't know she possessed. She blended flavors like memories, soft, warm, painful, beautiful. She cooked a dish inspired by her mother. A humble stew elevated into art. Simple ingredients, deep emotion, perfect balance. When she plated it, the judges leaned in, inhaled, tasted. And every single one of them closed their eyes. Silence followed. Then applause. Then a standing ovation. Lena's dish won, unanimously. The millionaire chefs stood stunned, defeated by the dishwasher they mocked. Mr. Hayes walked to her and said, "How would you like to become head chef of my new international restaurant line?" Lena's eyes filled with tears. Not from victory, but from remembering the girl who scrubbed pans believing she didn't deserve more. She looked at the chefs who laughed at her. And then she smiled softly. "Thank you," she said. Not to them, but to herself, for finally standing up. The dishwasher became the chef. The invisible girl became unstoppable. And the millionaire chefs, they never laughed again. Love X Revenge presents The Rise of Lena, the girl who shocked a world that tried to bury her.